and we'll go from there. But up next in the packet is math. So let's take a look at math. That sound you hear is me scrolling through the math packet. So let's share it. All right, here is the math packet. So first things first, what it says is read, watch, listen. That would be if you're on Study Island. Packet work, options for completing the packet. Same thing. Online at Study Island, 10 to 15 questions per day per standard, one standard for each day. Let's not get overly concerned with how much we're doing per day initially. This will be the first one that we do, and we'll go from there. All right, real world, estimation and reasonableness, number patterns, two-dimensional figures, symmetry. All right, so let's move right to what it's going to be asking us to do. It says use equations and reasonableness to find and estimate solutions to real-world multi-step problems. So that was the sound of me turning the page on my notebook. Example 1, Priscilla is packing for a trip. She packed 4 pairs of black socks and W pairs of white socks. In all, she packed 20 socks. Which equation represents this situation? So there's some answers there, and it'll tell us what the solution is. So A is 4 plus 2 plus W equals 20. I'm sorry, 4 times 2 plus W equals 20. That'd be this one right here. B is 4 plus W times 2 equals 20. C is 4 plus W equals 20. And D is 4 times 2 plus W times 2 equals 20. To find the, and then here's the solution. To find the equation that represents the situation given, break it into pieces. The problem says that Priscilla packed 4 pairs of black socks. So multiply the number of pairs of socks by 2 to find the total number of individual socks. The reason why is because a pair of socks has 2, right? So she packed 4 pairs of socks and black socks. That's 4 times 2. And that's where the example ends. So let's continue the example. Basically what you would do is if you take 4 times 2 gives you how many black socks, right? So then you have to figure out how many white socks. So for me, the way you would do that is, let's switch over to the camera. Okay, so looking at the camera, and again, you'll have this in front of you. Oh, I think I went right back to what I was doing. Going back to the camera. All right, here we go. Here's my paper. Again, my name. Move this so I can see what we're doing. Multi-step, real world problems. All right. And you don't have to write the whole thing, but I do want you to write your work, right? So, okay, here's all our choices. The one that makes the most sense for me is this. So they've already told us that 4 times 2 is going to give us the number of white socks or black socks, and W is going to give us a pair of white socks. So would we be accounting for each, because here's the different things they're showing us. These are our choices. 4 times 2 plus W equals 20. 4 plus W times 2 equals 20. 4 plus W equals 20. And 4 times 2 plus W times 2 equals 20. So what I would do is I would just look at these individually and see if they make sense. So this one tells us how many black socks because it's 4 times 2. Does it tell us how many white socks? No, it just says W, and it doesn't account for the fact that we have to multiply by 2 because each pair has 2 socks, right? So that's not going to give us our answer. Here, 4, this accounts for the W, right? The white socks, but not the black. So W times 2 will tell us how many white socks. But 4, we know, is not the answer for how many black socks. 4 plus W equals 20. This has a lot of problems because one, it doesn't account for there being 2 socks in a pair. So here's the white socks. I'm sorry, the black socks. And then here's the white socks, but doesn't account for the pairs. This one says 4 times 2 for black socks, W times 2 for white socks equals 20. This to me is the one that makes the most sense. Now, keep in mind, all that I had to go through and all the thinking that I had to do to come up with that. So it's gonna take some time. Don't be in a rush. Understand that, you gotta work through this, show your work, really showing your work just to prove to yourself that that's the correct answer. So let's figure this out, right? So we have 4 times 2 plus W times 2. So 4 times 2 we know is 8. And if our answer is 20, we have to figure out what this needs to be for it to be correct. So if this were just a problem, what would we make it? 20, what do I need to add to 8 to get 20? I can hear all of you yelling 12. So good, 12. So once we figure out that we need 12, then we can figure out what W is, right? So what times 2 makes 12? Well, 6. So we know W is 6. Okay, so if we know that Priscilla packed 4 pairs of black socks, she would need to pack 6 pairs of white socks. Now, that's not what they're asking you. They're just asking you which one of these equations is the correct way to figure it out. But going through the process to figure it out allows you to know that this was the way to do it. All right, so let's move on to the next one. This is our actual one that we have to do. All right, so let's share it. Okay, a soccer team with 18 players is playing in a tournament. Each player receives 19 bottles of water to last throughout the tournament. The coach estimates that approximately 400 bottles were passed out to players. Is his estimate reasonable? So your options are no, because there are 15 players on the team and each player receives approximately 15 bottles. Yes, because there are about 10 players on the team and each player receives approximately 15 bottles. Yes, because there are about 20 players on the team and each player receives approximately 20 bottles. No, because there are 20 players on the team and each player receives approximately 10 bottles. All right, so for me, the way this makes the most sense is figuring out, okay, what is the math of each of these? And which one of them? So what they're asking you to do here is to estimate. So what we have to do is figure out which one of these has math that makes the most sense. All right, so then let's go back to the camera. All right, so what they're saying is, A, 15 players, 15 bottles. That's A. B, 10 players, 15 bottles. C, 20 players, 20 bottles. And D, 20 players, 10 bottles. Okay, these are all someone estimating, someone rounding. Okay, so why does that matter? Because we have to figure out which of the math makes the most sense here. So this guy is saying, if we go back to the problem, this guy is saying that 400 bottles were passed out to his players. How does he know that? Maybe he had 450 bottles and now only 50 are left. So he's estimating that about 400 bottles were passed out to his players. All right, so then which one of these makes the most sense based on that? Well, let's do some math. 15 players, 15 bottles. So we know 15, let's do 15 times 15. We go 5, 2, 5 times 1, 75. 0, 5, 1. 150 plus 75, 5, 5 plus 7 is 12, 225. So in this scenario, in this one, 225 bottles are passed out. All right, so let's do the math here. 15, 10, 0, 0, 5, 1. So in this scenario, 150 bottles were passed out. Okay? 20 times 20, 0, 0, 0, 0, 4. In this scenario, 400 bottles were passed out. 20 players, 10 bottles. 20 times 10, 0, 0, 0, 0, 2. So in this scenario, 200 bottles were passed out. So which one of these is closest to the approximate amount of bottles that he passed out, or he believes he passed out? C. But it takes some time. You got to go through all these scenarios to prove the other one's wrong. So as I'm doing this, I am saying to myself, and we talk about, I did not go over this and I apologize. So let's go back to our math way that we do things. So we just read the question until we understand it, note the important words and numbers in the question, look for words like choose all, choose two, choose any, solve the problem on paper, which we did, check your math, which we did, reread the question, does your answer make sense? Does it answer all parts of the question? So I think we checked all the boxes on that. The one thing that I did not do, which we can do now, is I did not, as I went, crossed off my answers. So it can't be A because it's too low, can't be B because it's too low, can't be D because it's too low, and it's C. That's my answer. All right, so let's get back to the packet. Guys, if I'm moving fast through this, it's just because I don't want this video to be too long because, again, I know you guys' attention spans. And, you know, as we do more of these, we'll get a little bit more focused in on what we need to do, how much you guys need. If you want to go over stuff, we'll go from there. All right, so back to the math packet. Let's do number 2 just because it's the next one. All right, so all right, let me read this one and then we will go from there. So are we sharing? No. Let's share. Okay, number 2. Renee has 9 red marbles and 11 blue marbles. Fiona has 4 times as many red marbles and 3 times as many blue marbles as Renee. Fiona says she has about 50 red and blue marbles. Is her statement reasonable? All right, so let's get back to our camera and figure this out from there. All right, let's see. All right, let's figure out what we know and what we need to know. All right, so Renee has 9 red marbles and 11 blue marbles. So let's talk about Renee. Number 2, Renee. And then we'll worry about Fiona in a second. So there's Fiona. All right, so Renee has 9 red marbles and 11 blue marbles. Fiona has 4 times red, 4 times red, and 11 times blue, right? All right, so let's first figure out how many we think Fiona has, and then we'll look at the answers. All right, or we can apply it. I think it's better to see what our answer is and then go from there. So if she has 4 times as many red marbles, oh wait, I apologize. This should be 3 times as many blue marbles. All right, so she has 4 times as many red marbles. That would mean that she has 4 times 9, because Renee has 9. If she has 3 times as many blue marbles, that would mean she has 3 times 11, because Renee has 11 blue marbles. So 4 times 9 we know is 36. 3 times 11 we know is 33. So 6 plus 3 is 9. 3 plus 3 is 6. All right, so according to Fiona's estimations, she says that she has about, and let's go back to the question. I've done the math. So the question says, Fiona says she has about 50 red and blue marbles. Is her statement reasonable? Okay, so yes, A is yes because she has about 30 red marbles and 20 blue marbles. Okay? Yes, because she has about 20 red marbles and 30 blue marbles. No, because she has about 50 red marbles and 20 blue marbles. No, because she has about 40 red marbles and about 30 blue marbles. All right, so let's look at this and determine, is this statement true? All right, so let's take one quick look back at our camera, just so we know what we're dealing with. Fiona has 36 red marbles and 33 blue marbles. Okay? So let's look at the statements now and see which one of them those are true based on what we know. All right, so back to our question. All right, so the first one. Yes, because she has about 30 red marbles and 20 blue marbles. Well, she has 36 red marbles and 33 blue marbles. So that answer is way off based on blue marbles. So that can't be it. So sure, we'll cross that one out. Yes, because she has about 20 red marbles and 30 blue marbles. A little bit closer to blue marbles, but way off in red marbles because we have 36 red marbles. So let's cross that one off. C, no, because she has about 50 red marbles and 20 blue marbles. Way off in terms of red marbles. So let's cross that one. And kind of pretty much off on blue marbles. So that one's completely out. So far we've crossed out A, B, and C based on them not matching up. Now, we could just say the answer is D because we crossed the other ones out, or we can actually look at it, make sure we read it, make sure it's correct. No, because she has about 40 red marbles and about 30 blue marbles. If we estimate, or if we round, red marbles 36 would get rounded up to 40, so that's correct. Blue marbles 33 would get rounded down to 30 because that's correct. So I would say we should go with D. D would be my answer here. All right.